Hi, I'm Barbara, and in this three-part video, Andy and I are going to show you how to securely access an API, use geolocation to restrict access to an API, and implement second-factor authentication using one-time password. You are looking at the Mass Access API sample app that Andy built using our SDK. As you can see, it is a simple stock trading app. The stock code field is where we will enter the stock number. The number of shares field is where we will enter the number of shares we want to buy or sell. And we have two buttons, buy to buy the stock and sell to sell the stock. The status area shows the response of the API call, and we have a clear status button to clear the status area. Our stock trading app has the following requirements. Transactions must be secure. The stock trading must be executed in a restricted geographical location of Vancouver, and when the trading shares are over 10,000, which is a large transaction, we want second-factor authentication using one-time password. Let's see how easy it is to code this. Before we jump into the Android application, let's look at the API definition. The API URL is /trade. The trade parameter contains the stock and the shares as a JSON message and is located in the body. The request code parameter is a string that identifies your request and is located in the query parameter. The action parameter is a string that identifies the buy or sell action and is located in the header. For the response, this API returns a JSON object with the request code and the confirmation number. Now we'll show you how to use the Mobile SDK to access this API. We are now in our Android Studio project with our stock trading app. Let's start with the Buy button. The first thing Andy will do is create the URI using the URI builder. For the path, he will enter /trade and then append the request code as the query parameter. In this example, we generate a unique UUID for the request code. Next, to prepare the trade body content, Andy creates a JSON object and assigns the attribute stock and shares to the stock code field and shares field. With the content body and URI, we are ready to build a mass request object using the mass request builder interface. First, Andy will instantiate the mass request builder with the URI object. Next, he'll create a post request with the trade JSON body content, and then he'll provide the buy action as a header. Finally, he will use the build interface to build the mass request object. To access the API, we simply invoke the API with mass.invoke and provide mass request as the parameter. Because the API responds with a JSON object, the SDK identifies the response content type and converts the response stream to the JSON object. No explicit casting or type conversion is required for the response. In this trading app, we put the response message for /trade API to the status area. Make sure that all of the following mass classes that Andy is showing are imported. The sell button has the same implementation except that we changed the action in the header to sell. We now have our buy and sell buttons configured to buy and sell stock. Next, let's look at how we handle basic operations for our buy and sell buttons. The mass interface uses a background thread to handle the network operation. To provide results back to the user interface, you need to communicate with the UI thread. There are two options: using run on UI thread or override the mass callback get handler interface. To show the results for the buy button, we override the mass callback handler interface. Now let's run the app and test the interaction. I will type in CA for the stock code, and I will enter 500 for the shares. And when I click the buy button, the API is securely invoked. And now we can see the response message from /trade API in the status area. You can see how easily the Mobile SDK provides high-level interfaces to securely access APIs and how it handles the underlying security, networking, and OAuth protocol. Our next video uses the same stock trading app to show you how to add the geolocation feature. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.